The woman threw away her boyfriend's engagement ring and resolutely boarded the plane to go abroad. Originally, the boyfriend thought she was just throwing a tantrum until HR brought over the woman's transfer report. Only then did he realize the woman was really leaving this time. The man ignored the scheming Mary's obstruction and went to the airport trying to stop the woman from leaving, but he forgot that all of this was his own fault. It turned out that just a week earlier, the woman's kidney disease relapsed, and she urgently needed a family member's signature for surgery. She endured the pain and called her boyfriend, but he said he was in a meeting and told the woman to figure it out herself. In the end, it was the woman's mother from the neighboring city who rushed over, and just as she was about to enter the operating room, the woman was shocked to find that her boyfriend actually showed up at the hospital with Mary. After the surgery was over, the nurse couldn't help but advise the woman to think carefully before getting married. If her fiancé wouldn't even show up when she was sick, how could she possibly be happy after marriage? However, after the nurse left, the woman's mother persuaded her not to break up with her boyfriend, saying the woman was no longer young, and after a breakup, she would never find a fiancé better than her current boyfriend. Her mother's belittling words caused the woman great pain. At that moment, the woman saw her boyfriend with Mary again. The man gently stroked Mary's hair and tenderly cared about her health. The woman finally realized that the so-called meetings were nothing but the man's lies. 7 years ago, when they had just graduated, the man confessed sincerely with flowers in hand, promising to treat the woman well for a lifetime. The woman never thought that this relationship would end because of her boyfriend's betrayal. She sent a message to the chairman, agreeing to transfer to work at the overseas branch. The woman only needed to get the resignation form with her boyfriend's signature to completely leave this city. 3 days later, the man finally bothered to go home but found there was no familiar health porridge on the table. Only then did he suddenly remember his girlfriend had just had surgery. Then he hypocritically handed the woman a thermos and blamed her for not drinking enough water, saying that's why she got sick and hospitalized. The woman helplessly explained that her illness had nothing to do with drinking water, but unexpectedly, the man directly interrupted her, saying the company's bid had reached a critical stage, and he had no time to care about her being sick with such a trivial matter. He even complained she shouldn't call when he was busy. Hearing this, the woman suddenly felt nothing mattered anymore. Their 7-year relationship was nothing but a joke. The next morning, the woman looked at the sofa full of clothes and began tidying up as usual. The next second, she actually found intimate clothing that wasn't hers. In that instant, the woman understood everything, but by then, she had already decided to leave. And since she was just recovering from illness, she had no energy left to argue with the man. The man asked the woman to get him a coat. The woman unexpectedly saw her favorite dessert, and just when she thought her boyfriend still remembered what she liked, the man shattered her last illusion. He snatched the dessert away, saying it was Mary's favorite, and if the woman wanted to eat it, she should buy it herself. Then he casually handed the woman a bag of mangoes, saying this was for her. The woman said in disbelief, "We've been together for 7 years, and you don't know I'm allergic to mangoes?" But the man thought she was being unreasonable and turned to leave. The woman couldn't stand it anymore and threw the intimate clothing at him, telling him to tell Mary that next time when visiting someone else's home, she shouldn't be so careless. The man awkwardly agreed. Then, seemingly to make it up to the woman, he actually suggested she ride with him to work. That instantly reminded the woman of a time when it poured rain. The man was willing to send Mary home, but let her take a cab back by herself. Just when the woman was about to say something, Mary suddenly called, which instantly made the man change his mind. He lied, saying he had something urgent, and told the woman to go to work on her own. However, when the woman arrived at the company, she heard colleagues discussing that Mary had come to the company in the man's car that morning. Hearing this, the woman completely lost all hope in the man and felt no more emotion at all. After returning to her office, the woman took the engagement ring and threw it into the trash. The next second, the man sent her a message, asking her to prepare him a lunchbox. This time, the woman directly ignored the message. Meanwhile, the man, not receiving a reply, began to get anxious. He went straight to the woman to show goodwill, saying he was going on a business trip over the weekend, and whatever the woman wanted, she could tell him. The woman coldly said she didn't need anything. The man instantly became angry out of shame, saying he only bought the wrong fruit that morning, and asking why the woman was still angry. The woman impatiently said this was the office, and if he had nothing else, he should leave immediately. Hearing this, the man revealed his purpose. Mary's stomach isn't good. I don't want her eating takeout, so prepare us a lunchbox. The woman was simply stunned by his shamelessness, but in order to get him to sign the transfer report, the woman still agreed. She turned and left the office. At that moment, the man noticed the ring box in the trash, but Mary suddenly appeared, with just a bit of acting cute. She captured the man's soul and instantly made him forget about the ring. At dinner, Mary pretended to praise the woman's cooking skills. Unlike herself, who couldn't even cook instant noodles and could only rely on the man to take care of her, the woman disdained her provocation and just smiled, saying she hoped she enjoyed her meal. Seeing the woman wasn't angry, Mary intimately fed the man food again. Not knowing this, just gave the woman an opportunity. Taking advantage of the man's distraction, the woman handed over a contract with the transfer report inside. The man signed it without noticing anything. The woman looked at the transfer report with satisfaction and turned to leave for good.